Y'all bashed this person. Y'all hated on this person for the last year. But guess what, motherfuckers? You can all cry about it. You can all read it and weep, bitches, because we have a new women's world champion, and her name is Liv Morgan. So read it and weep. And welcome to your kind of late, out of date WWE King and Queen of the Ring review here on Very Cold Lasagna. I am DylanLasagna, and normally with these WWE pay-per-view reviews and wrestling reviews in general, I would just do a podcast episode on them. But since nothing of note was really anything happening on this show other than like this particular thing that I just talked about, might as well just do a little quickie review here for you all in this video. So that being said, there's like 6 matches that happened on the show. And to be honest, going into this King and Queen of the Ring build-up, there wasn't really a lot happening in regards to it. And even if there were things happening in it, the build-up has been very weak. Just like with the build-up to Backlash, which is why I didn't really interested into that show. I wasn't really wanting to review that show here on Very Cold Lasagna. So that's why I skipped that show. But with this show, it piqued my interest some, especially, going into the pre-show somewhat. So that being said, let's take a look at the 2024 edition of King and Queen of the Ring, which is making a comeback since, what was it? Like 2015, 2016? A pretty long time. Just a pretty long time in general. So we had a pre-show match that was announced a little bit, a day or two in advance on SmackDown, and that involved the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill going up against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. I wasn't too sure on the story of this match. They did mention, I believe they did mention about how Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell injured Bianca Belair, her knee or something like that, in regards to that being a factor in Bianca's later King of the Ring tournament matches. So that became a factor in her eventually losing to Nia Jax in the semifinals on the SmackDown side. But anyway, Bianca and Jade get the win in a kind of quick pre-show match for the titles. Jade continues to slowly but surely improve with each and every match that she gets reps in. Although the end of the match, where after they hit their finisher, which looked kind of smooth, Jade decided to do a kip up. I'm not sure why, but Bianca clearly pushed her out of the way because she needed to get the pin, and I found that kind of odd. But nonetheless, Bianca and Jade retained the women's tag team titles as they try to bring some legitimacy back into that championship. But yeah, I highly doubt it. But at least you get some star power on those titles for once in your life. And then, of course, you get the opening match with Becky Lynch defending her Women's World Championship against Liv Morgan. And I really wish they did this feud a whole lot better, which was why I was pretty skeptical. I was pretty sus on whether or not they were going to actually pull the trigger on Liv Morgan becoming the new Women's World Champion here at King and Queen of the Ring. I think they're going to do some bullshit where, either Liv is going to lose outright or she's going to win but not actually get the title, and she's going to go full on Becky Lynch. But yeah, I just wish they did this feud a lot better. I know some people were saying, when Becky first won the title at the Battle Royale, 2 weeks after Rhea Ripley had to relinquish the title, and then people were saying, Liv should have won it back then. But I was on the mindset of, normally I would say yes, Liv should have gotten the title so she can go weeks around taunting Rhea Ripley that, I have your championship now. But in this aspect, it honestly would have just been better to have Liv beat Becky because, she never beat Becky before. She's 0-4 against her. It's that's as many times the Buffalo Bills had lost in the Super Bowl. 4 straight times in the Super Bowl. That's basically Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. Becky has the serious advantage over her. But the way they went about this feud was just a bunch of yapping. a bunch of yapping like, from Becky, like her usual, on the mon, I'm going to defend this title with grace. Yet she didn't do jack shit with it. She didn't do jack shit with the title. And then Liv was just talking about her revenge tour. Basically as if Becky was Rhea. What are they doing here? Some of it is on them, but sometimes it's also on Noseman's creative, which is kind of dumb. And it is just a lot of fluff, a lot of filler, in this whole feud, and they barely scratched the surface with their past history, because when they first had their feud back in 2021, which was the feud that helped Liv be one of those main players in the WWE next to Becky, and I'll give her credit for that. I'm a little surprised that they barely brought it up until they introduced that in the promo package on the pre-show. I'm just like, why? So anyway, as for this match, they had a pretty good opener. Not as good as the one back in, what was that day one pay-per-view in 2022, but still a good match overall. Liv had probably one of her better matches, despite the hot ass bodysuit, and I don't mean like, she looks stunning, like, oh shit. I mean, she still does, but I mean, in those bodysuits, it's like very hot in them. I can only imagine. Especially Becky's, like, what was she wearing? Like, it was an actual suit. I mean, I'll give her points for creativity, but goddamn, must have been hot in that thing. So anyway, the main match itself, it was not like the overall story of what people are talking about. It was, of course, the ending of the match, the shenanigans, as you per se, because earlier in the pre-show, you had Liv Morgan getting interviewed by Byron Saxton, and then Dominic Mysterio all of a sudden appears out of nowhere, and he tells Liv that I'm here. I flew all the way out here, even though I don't have anything to do. I'm still injured because I don't want you winning this women's world championship, or as he said, I don't want you winning mommy's world championship. But he still appears out there anyway, and he tries to live up to that goal. He even tries to go and help Becky, even though it ends up backfiring. So he tries to distract the referee. Becky's like, what am I supposed to do with this? Playing like the dumbass babyface that she is. So Liv takes advantage of the opportunity, and she DDTs Becky into the chair, and she hits the Oblivion. 1, 2, 3. And you have your new women's world champion in Liv Morgan. It's about damn time. They gave her the title. Although I wish it happened I guess you could say it happened a month earlier at WrestleMania. But actually, now you think about it, we'll see how it goes. Like how this story progresses with Liv, Dom, Rhea. It's a long shot, but maybe you could stretch this past to next year's WrestleMania. It's a long shot, but you can do it. They can do it as long as they stay healthy and there's the right creative. So Liv Morgan is your new women's world champion, and I can see all the people out there crying about it. All the smarks that always hate on her, and all the smarks that are disguising themselves as casual wrestling fans. That certain group of casual fans that are disguised, that are actually smarks themselves, crying about it and point out all her major deficiencies, some of which is true, because she does need to work on a couple things, like her promo skills, because still very inconsistent. Like her delivery is her biggest thing, holding her back. So hopefully with this second women's world title run, they will help her with that. She will step up to the plate with her promo skills, especially. So let's see where this goes with Liv Morgan as your women's world champion once again. So then we had a WWE Intercontinental Championship match between Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and Bronson Reed. I'm not sure, why Bronson Reed is in this match, but the main story of this was between Sami Zayn and Chad Gable, as well as, Afro Academy member Otis. So this match was all right. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to it, but they had some good moments there. Like all three of them locking each other in the ankle lock. Chad Gable hitting this nice German suplex on Sami Zayn, and while Bronson Reed was also in there as well. But the main part of it was, just like with the Women's World Title match, was the ending. You know, Chad Gable still kind of frustrated with how things were going. He threw Sami Zayn on the outside, and he wanted Otis to attack him. He wanted Otis to take him out. So he picked up Sami Zayn, and he wanted Otis to hit him and take him out from the equation. So it took a little while to get this. I'm not sure why, but in the end, after like a couple minutes, which was a little too long in my opinion, Otis inadvertently takes out Chad Gable, and Otis is just like, "What the fuck did I do?" And as people were cheering, Sami Zayn gets back in the ring. He's like, "Good boy, Otis," and hits the haluva kick on Bronson Reed, who surprisingly didn't get up throughout this whole time, and could have taken advantage of the situation himself. But nonetheless, Sami Zayn overcomes the odds and retains the Intercontinental Championship. So that was that. Then we had our Queen of the Ring tournament final between Lyra Valkyria of Monday Night Raw, the newest draftee, and Nia Jax over on SmackDown. The winners I want to clarify that the winners of both the King and Queen of the Ring finals would get a title opportunity at SummerSlam. So Triple Nose finally clarified that after, they should have made that clear from the start. But, I mean, at least they finally upped the stakes in this. So something that hasn't happened since, the only time they did it in 2002 with Brock Lesnar. So it's about time they finally did that. They finally did that, but I wish they would have just addressed it from the start. Like, it's not that hard, like really. Especially when you have these weird brackets where it's like you almost booked yourself in the corner. So anyway, with this women's Queen of the Ring tournament final between Lyra and Nia Jax, it was okay. It was all right. I mean, I wasn't prior to this, I wasn't particularly interested in Lyra Valkyria. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of her in NXT, but I mean, her entrance, it's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, she's like, she had these raven wings, like she's about to audition for the Baltimore Ravens, be part of the receiving corps with Lamar Jackson. Just kidding. But no, she tried to overcome the big, larger Nia Jax, but in the end, Nia Jax pretty much dominated this match. She was like crushing Lyra in every which way, and Lyra tried to take her down with some drop kicks to the leg, but it didn't work out. So the finish was pretty interesting. Lyra Valkyria, she got out of a Samoan drop from the middle rope that Nia was trying to do, and she slipped out of that, and she was trying to powerbomb Nia, but she couldn't do it because, she's too big to do it. Nia's too big to even consider that, and Nia just sits on her. She just splats on Lyra Valkyria, and then she does this badass pose and gets the win. I gotta give my props to Nia Jax, man. Ever since she came back, I initially laughed at the prospect, mainly because this is the big response from WWE to counter Monday Night Football. That game between the Bills and the Jets. But man, what a turnaround for Nia Jax. She moves a lot better in the ring. She sells very well. I really got to give her flowers, man. I'm not, no joke. Nia Jax is starting to become a key piece for the women's division. No joke. I really have to give her flowers there. So Nia wins the Queen of the Ring tournament final, and she has a date set with Bayley. If Bayley's still the women's champion by then at SummerSlam. So I wouldn't be opposed at all if Nia took that title from Bayley by then. So decent match. Then we had the King of the Ring tournament final between the Ring General Kunta and the Viper Randy Orton. And the winner of this match would get on the men's side a World Heavyweight or WWE Championship match. Whoever won this match. And with this match in particular, this was the first time encounter. I was pretty excited for it. It was one of those methodical beatdowns by Gunther. It was like Randy was taking a beating with all those chops, and beating to his back, and they're playing significantly, a leg injury, a knee injury that he suffered. I believe it was yesterday during his semifinal matchup against Tama Tonga. But yeah, Gunther was targeting that leg pretty often, and it became focal during this finals match. So Randy Orton hit an RKO, the first RKO onto Gunther, but it took him a long time to cover him. And you notice that he barely covered him because of that leg. So Gunther kicked out of that. And then the finish, you saw the finish, which people are pretty much talking about now. A second RKO out of nowhere from Randy Orton to Gunther. But then, again, it took a pretty long time for Randy Orton to cover him. But when he did cover him, when Gunther kicked out, he hit Randy Orton's bum leg. Kind of like when Roman hit Jay in the nuts, or when vice versa back at Money in the Bank 2023. So it was kind of like that situation. Randy Orton's like tendering to his leg, but then Gunther like suddenly rolls him up with the deadly crucifix fruit roll up. But then Gunther wins the match, but then you notice that either it was a botch or it was just like some sort of weird fuckery with the ref. I'm like, dude, like this is like ref ball at its finest. Like you could clearly see, like this is some bullshittery right here going on right here, because as Randy Orton is getting rolled up by Gunther, one of his shoulders is up, like a clear inch or more off the ring mat. It's like, and the referee's like, I see it, but I'm not gonna do shit to overturn that. So it's just like, what are we doing? Like, come on, like you can't be doing that. Like, I don't get. I know, I get it. It's scripted, but whether or not, it's like you try to treat it like it's sports entertainment, but you're making like actual sports look like bums. You're looking like making sports entertainment look like bums as bad as actual sports with its officiating. If that kind of makes any sense. Or a better translation, ref ball officiating, the bad rigged sports officiating has made its way to the WWE. I guess that's a better way to put that. So, in essence, Randy Orton got fucked. He got fucked in the ass with the bad officiating. So, maybe they'll revisit this match down the line in a couple weeks or in a month. Either way, yeah, maybe Randy Orton has something to do before another match. But Gunther is your king of the ring, your king general, and he's getting a World Heavyweight Championship match at Summerslam, whether that be against Damian Priest or Drew McIntyre. Whoever comes out of that match at Clash of the Castle in a couple weeks. Then we had our main event, which involved the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes going up against Logan Paul. And this was another one of those throwaway matches for Cody Rhodes, which has pretty much been the theme since he won the title at WrestleMania. And that's the problem when you don't have lined up ready challengers that, Triple Nose or Vince. They didn't build up any credible challengers while Roman Reigns was in this 1,000 day plus reign. I mean, sure, I liked Roman, but it's like on the side, you got to build up some challengers, especially for his successor. And yet Cody doesn't have that. So this match between Cody and Logan, it was pretty all right. It is pretty good. The main story of it was like, Logan, trying to, whether or not he was going to be different for once, try to win a match cleanly. But no, of course, it's Logan Paul. He's going to be that asshole heel that he's always been. Try to cheat as much as possible, using the brass knucks to his advantage whenever he could. And then there's one point in the match where you had this nice angle, like this nice 360 angle of Logan Paul doing his usual frog splash table spot. That was really good production work right there. Like that was like fantastic camera work. And then he almost wins the match with the frog splash again once he brings Cody into the ring. But in the end, Cody gets the win with the Crossroads trifecta, and it was an all right. It was an all right match. But Logan Paul continues to prove why he belongs in the WWE with another really good showing. But as for Cody's Rhodes, it's like, what do you do next? Like, what do you do next with them? Because it's like you ran it with AJ Styles at Backlash. You already ran it with Logan Paul. It's like your list of challengers for Cody is already running thin. I mean, I get it. They're still Randy Orton, but they're reserving that for a much bigger venue. I don't know where that's going to be, whether at SummerSlam or something much further down the line. But at some point, it's like you're running out of like options here if you're WWE, like already. That's bad. That is really bad. And don't get me wrong, it's like I'm not trying to be a Cody hater or Cody buster, but it's just being honest. It's like, and it's like where's challengers at? It's like, that's a problem. WWE didn't build them up. WWE didn't build any during Roman's time as champion. It's like, again, these are things that you should have had while Roman was champion, like in preparation for his successor, and yet they didn't. And that's a problem that, but Cody and Triple Nose have. They don't have any ready-made challengers for Cody, and it just sucks, you know. So overall, with King and Queen in the ring, I thought it was a solid show. I actually thought it was a solid show. You know, someone that hasn't really paid attention to product. In what was it like since WrestleMania? Since WrestleMania. I've been mainly going through since social media clips on Twitter and Instagram. That's pretty much it. I haven't really watched the full shows. I mean, I tweet about some things on there on, at Very Cold Lasagna. But other than that, it's just like, That's why I didn't review Backlash. But with King and Queen in the ring, I thought it was a solid show. It advanced some stories. And once again, Liv Morgan is your new women's world champion. And if you don't like it, cry about it. And you can watch her. And you can acknowledge her as your women's world champion. Deal with it. Just as long as they book her right. I just hope Triple Nose books her right this go around, which we'll see coming this Monday. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on WWE King and Queen in the Ring, that pay-per-view that happened early on a Saturday. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let's have a discussion about it in the comments below. And until the next one, keep the lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And peace out.